Bro, put some EQ on that, man. Dude, EQ those pianos and guitars, please. Dude, that's too much EQ. Bro, EQ is the shiz. Hold on, guys. That's all fine. But can someone tell me how to use one? Just what I thought. Don't worry, guys. 4 of my best ways on how I use EQ coming up. Hey peeps, my name is Bhuvan from Suntide and welcome back to my channel. Here you'll find videos and tutorials on music production, sound and bass design, drum programming and occasional gear reviews so that you can also grow in your musical journey. EQ or an equalizer, as we all know, is an amazing tool which helps us in correcting levels for a particular frequency or a range of frequencies in an audio signal so that it brings out that character and gives it that color. So in this video, I'll be showing you 4 of the best of the creative ways that I use EQ so that your production mix can sound much better. So without any further ado, let's jump in. Alright peeps, so here we have one of my projects that I'm working on with my friend. He's a bassist and I haven't done any kind of EQ in any of the tracks. It's simple piano, pads, bass and a drum loop. And it's still work in progress, but let's just see how we can make use of the EQ and let's see how it changes. So let's start off with the piano and let's solo it. Alright, so let's listen to the small little loop of piano. Alright, so let's start off with the piano, and the first way that I use EQ is a subtractive EQ. So what I do is that I create a very steep slope and I sweep it across the frequency range to find the very resonancy, kind of like a nasty sound, and then I cut it. So let's start off with a very narrow steep and then let's find out the loudest peaks. Okay, that's one. Let's cut this. 5 dB. Let's take another one. That's another. Let's cut that first. Increase the Q a little. Let's use another point. Let's find more. That's one more. Let's do one more. I think that's one more. There we have it. So we've cut down all of the nasty parts, the kind of like a resonancy frequency parts of the audio signal. And let's also cut the lows because we don't need that in a piano. So let's just cut it up till 40 Hertz. And that's the first way on how we can use the subtractive EQ. It's much more balanced. We don't have any resonancy, kind of like a hard hitting frequency noises. I think -4 dB is perfect for such kind of subtractive EQ. So the next way that I use the EQ is additive EQ. And now that we have cut down all of the kind of like a resonancy, high, loudest peaks of the sound, let's go ahead and boost those frequencies which creates and shapes the body of the sound. So this is gonna be this is how I do it. I kind of put the subtractive EQ with the additive EQ, and so that I don't boost those frequencies which I've cut. And let's just go to a default setting. And now that we've seen that we've cut the frequency ranges at about 198 Hertz, we've cut at 395, we've cut at 580, and we've cut at 780. So we're not going to boost those. So let's start off with giving some bass to the piano. Now that we have cut 190 Hertz, we should not do that. So let's increase a little bit of highs to give that brightness. And we've cut at 780 as well. So let's not go there. Is this sounding nice? Let's do resonancy. Okay, that's the solo part, I think. That's nice. Great. The third way that I use the EQ is to use it as a filter. Believe it or not, we can really use it to create some megaphony, gramophony kind of sounds using something called as a bandpass filter. So let's use that in this pad. Let's hear it. This is without the EQ. That's great. Now let's introduce the bandpass EQ. Cut off all the lows, very steep, and I just want to pass all of the middle frequencies. So somewhere around 370, and let's bring this. Notice the difference, and it's kind of like very interesting to shape up the sound in this way as well. And you can get some pretty amazing results. So let's hear it with the piano. Let's see how it sounds. Pretty interesting in that way as well. Now the fourth way that I use EQ is to create space in the mix. For example, if you have a bass and a kick drum, both the instruments kind of take the similar frequency range in the frequency spectrum. If we boost a certain frequency in both the instruments, it's gonna sound muddy. So what we essentially do is we boost one frequency in one instrument and then cut at the same frequency in the other so that both gets balanced out and there is a space in the mix for both of them to fix. So let's hear this without any EQ. All over the place. So let's just first start with finding the body of the bass. I want to boost at around, let's say 100, and I want to cut at around 220. That's about nice. And now let's engage the EQ of the drums. And what I do here is that I open the EQ for the bass and then I cut the frequencies that I have boosted in the bass in the kick drum. So I had boosted at around 100. I'll cut it at 100, around 2 dBs, and the Q factor was 3.2. So I'll just keep it at that. And then I cut at around 250, 220 Hertz. And let's boost that point in the kick drum so that it pops out at around 1.5. There you have it. That's how I use the EQ in 4 different ways. go ahead and try it out in your mix and let me know in the comments down below if your mix sounds much better. Okie dokie guys, that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you learned something from this. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you like this video, consider subscribing, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to press that notification bell so that you can stay updated. If you have any questions, comment down below and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.